All right. First rule of this channel is we do not talk about this channel. Second rule of this channel is this is not legal advice. So I was trying to do some testing for video editing, and it turned out with this video just be easier just to do it through StreamYard. So I hate scripts. So this may be the last one that's unscripted, but anyway, let me sell you on Emari Demercado. I don't know how it's pronounced, and it's not going to help you win leagues, so I don't care. So take this with a grain of salt because it's going to depend on your league size and your league personality. Hopefully some of you guys have already stashed him if you're James Conner owners, because I've talked about him for the last couple weeks. But let's get into it. So to start off, as a floor, he may be limited from a usage standpoint and efficiency standpoint because he's on a bad offense, or I shouldn't say bad offense. He's on a not good offense, and he's behind a solid vet. But there's some stuff to talk about with Emari Demercado, who finished last game after Connor's knee injury, and Connor's projected to miss a couple weeks at a minimum. 77% snaps, 10 carries, 45 yards, and a tug, 3 more targets, and 1 reception. I think 1 was a drop screen. So his measurables, and for those trolls out there on the internet, I am not saying he's a better athlete than Devon Achane or Bijan Robinson. What I'm saying is his measurables are comparable or better in some cases. So you can see 4.440, 4.44 40. His splits with Bijan, they're comparable, I think, in one area. And Achane is a little bit more explosive. That's just his athletic testing. I watched some of his college tape. I'm not impressed because it's college tape, and who knows what they're being coached, and who knows how good the talent they're going up against. I did like some of the receiving work that I saw out of him, and I'll show you all the measurables right there if you want to take a look at it. That's Achane, that's Bijan. So we got to talk about Kendry Miller a little bit because he showed up in 2020, and Demercado showed up in 2018. And if you're not aware, Demercado went to the JUCO route, and then he came into TCU after that. I would say comparatively, going the JUCO route to a major program is basically like coming in like an undrafted free agent. They don't care about you. You're there to fill a hole. So 2018, 2019, his sophomore, junior years, I think he got redshirted his junior. I didn't see any place where it explains that. But the 2020 year is the COVID year. They just gave everybody free eligibility. And that was the year that Kendry Miller came in. And you can see I got Kendry Miller pulled up. Kendry Miller 2020, 2021, 2022. Kendry Miller comes out. He's a 3rd-round draft pick. So getting buried behind a 3-star guy is not that big of a deal from a recruiting standpoint. They just don't care. They don't care about you. You're not going to get a chance. It doesn't matter. So anybody talking about like draft capital or college breakouts and all that stuff, like there's a little bit of a nuance. There's story to be told on this guy. So the other thing to look at before we even get into the Demercado tape is James Conner. James Conner signed a 3-year, $21 million contract in 2022, but they have an out in 2024. Well, why is that a big deal? And I have this written down on my notes, so I'm going to have to go find it. Is the new coach in Arizona came in this year, Jonathan Gannon. And he's already shown that he's going to be competitive with lesser talent, so they can start building around him. Now, all the podcasts I've ever listened to, all the interviews with the former NFL gurus, they say like they know in the building the first year if this is the guy. And again, if he's competitive already with this talent level, he's probably the guy. The other thing is they brought in a new GM, Monty Austinfort. And again, anybody that was there, this is like comparing Demercado being a JUCO transfer to all this, where anybody that was in the Cardinal organization before Gannon and Austinfort showed up are other guys' recruits. They don't care about them. And that includes Kyler Murray. And we may never see Kyler Murray again in Arizona because he may be more valuable someplace else than in Arizona. So even from a standpoint of Josh Dobbs is an Austinfort guy. And we can compare that to Geno Smith coming into Seattle, doing what he did in 1 year and then getting a 3-year, $75 million contract. Would not surprise me if that happens with Josh Dobbs going into next year if he continues to perform. So that'll have to be put on the table going forward. So Demercado would be the equivalent from a fantasy perspective of winning cute. Let me show you how much better we are by having an undrafted rookie free agent, and he's good. So that draft capital thing may not matter because they can show everybody up that they're a different direction, different program. And for next year, most organizations are not going to waste a premium draft pick on a position like running back. It's a non-premium position. So it doesn't just mean that they're going to turn around and get rid of Demercado or bring somebody else in before we get to the tape. And let's see. I think that's about all I have from my scripted stuff. I'll roll the tape. I think I already said I didn't really care about his college tape. His NFL tape, he's a little indecisive, but he will take what's given and falling forward. I'm not as concerned with the indecisive stuff. That just could be him, being a rookie. I think this is the batted screen that I talked about. It wasn't dropped. It was batted. Design passing work. Like I said, that's always important for a running back. Some of these things, he just puts his foot down and gets downhill. And that's something that coaches usually really like. And this is why I said, I can understand why they like him. I can understand why the coaches are like, I want this undrafted guy to move up the food chain. He's got the measurables. He's athletic. And if he's coachable, they don't really care what the story was at TCU. And like I said, he just falls forward. He gets those yards. He gets what's blocked for him, which is always a good thing. And then probably has a little bit to grow. And that's also another thing is he may not be a polished product yet, even though he was at TCU. So again, these are things to like as a coach, but he's just moving the pile. So he's going to get you in positive situations every time you give him a touch. And this is the duo play, I think, where he just comes downhill. He sells it to the mic and then finds the hole, bounces it, and then gets what's there. Now, some of this I'm not that worried about. This is a channel called NFL Study. I'm stealing your stuff, but it's transformative because I'm talking about it. And I only really want to get a few more plays that you see just 1 foot in the ground and get downhill. And then there's another one coming up. I don't like the highlights. This is a touchdown run. He just bounces it, and he's got 4.4 speed. So, there you go. Just turns the corner, plants it, and gets upfield. And that's about all I need to see athletically. There's a little bit of vision. Just falling forward downfield. That's all I need to see. So again, this is a proactive channel, not a reactive channel. If you haven't picked him up already, you might have to knife fight for him. Maybe a little limited, but that's okay. If he definitely again, because of your league personality, if he falls through the cracks, he's definitely worth a stash. And if Connor's out and it looks like he is, I would just put him in the lineup going forward until you find out what's going on. I like it enough from what I see, and I didn't know anything about him. So anyway, that's about all I got, and I don't want to make it any longer than it needs to be. So yeah.